This is the perfect time to organize the upcoming year into seasons of savings.
We are huge fans of breaking the overall year up into much smaller chunks. We like to do quarterly goals, but for the purposes of this video, we're going to think of those quarterly goals in terms of the seasons. It'll make it so much easier for you to understand that you have specific tasks to focus on in that 12-week period. You'll make progress a lot more quickly, and it'll be a whole lot less frustrating.
If you don't know us, I'm Larry.
I'm Hope.
And we're from Under the Median, where every week we bring you videos on practical frugality. Let's start with spring savings. Now, we're going to start at the beginning of the year in January with this category, even though we know it's still very cold and wintry outside.
But by the time you get to March, then spring has sprung. The whole idea of spring is spring makes you feel like it's a time of new beginnings, and it's very refreshing. So with that in mind, let's delve into our first tip, which is to look at your overall year and set overall financial goals for the new year. In this case, 2025.
It's a lot easier to manage if your goals are specific instead of setting vague New Year's resolutions that you're liable to just say, those are too hard or I'm not interested in keeping them. A specific goal is something you can aim at and shoot for.
Spring habit number 2, you're going to begin to track those financial goals and your progress on them. When you have a goal, and you put that goal in front of you and you track your progress, you have a much higher rate of success in reaching that goal.
Create an up-to-date list for your freezer and your pantry. This takes the mystery out of what you have and gives you a good listing of what you can use up and make meals with.
You know, the other reason this is important is because, as we mentioned, the spring season sort of starts when it's still cold outside. It makes it so you go to the store less often, and statistically, the more often you are in the store, the less money that you spend. And the other thing is that you can sort of clear out that freezer space because we all have those things in the bottom that we don't know what it is.
Yeah, this time of the year, you're not going to be filling up the freezer in January and February because there's no produce coming in. So this is a good time to clean it out.
Clean it down before the growing season starts.
This is one of our favorites, and that's to do the 10% challenge. And that's where you sit down with your partner for 20 minutes and you shave a total of 10% off of your total budget.
The 10% challenge, very versatile tool in your toolbox. You can also use the 10% challenge to save 10% off specific budget categories if you would like. You want a step-by-step tutorial on how to do the 10% challenge. We just did a video where we walked you through it step-by-step, and we provided examples using a 10% challenge that we just completed ourselves, and we use our actual budget numbers. I'll make sure that video is linked up above, and I'll also put it in the description of this video.
Start a frugal inspiration list. This is where you sit down and you write ideas out that are new in order to save money. And this will keep you going and keep you adding to that list.
Make a list of items that you think you might need possibly to replace this year. Here's why that's important. You should not wait until your alien washing machine, which is making really sad noises, all of a sudden stops making any noise at all to start doing your product research. If you know something is getting older and it's just likely to bite the dust, now is the time to do your research. Find the make, the model, set your price limit, and then begin saving toward replacing that item now while you still have a functioning item.
Get rid of extra stuff that you have in the house. We all have things that just kind of clutter up the walls or some of our decorative areas, things that you've set aside in a storage room and you're probably never going to use it again. Go ahead and get those items out, clean them up, check them out, make sure they work, and then list them on Marketplace or eBay. But you go ahead and sell those items so you can make a little bit of money and declutter your living space.
We often think of spring cleaning our home, but we don't think about spring cleaning our finances, and maybe we should. In the spring is a great time in order for you to look through all of your subscriptions, decide which ones stay, which ones go. It's a great time to take a really deep dive into your budget, figure out what's working, what's not working, what you need to change. And it's also a time where you can look through that budget and find additional money in that budget to put toward your short, medium, and long-term financial goals. Now, if you're ready to take this step, but you just don't know where to begin cutting back, you need to request our guide to reducing expenses. I walk you step by step through each of the 10 ways that we reduced expenses when we were saving for great big financial goals. And there's checklists included in this free resource. I'll make sure that there's a link to the guide in the description of this video.
You can also plan your garden. Now, a garden doesn't have to be a huge amount of space. This can be just a matter of 3 feet by 5 feet along the side of your home, or maybe some planters out on your front porch. Anything that you can use for planting herbs or small garden things, it all helps every little bit.
It is time to turn your thermostat down. For every degree you turn your thermostat down, you will save between 1 and 3% on your next utility bill. So that means if you're looking at turning it down several degrees, you're looking at saving a good amount on that next utility bill.
We keep our house in the daytime at 64, and at night we keep it at 60. And that might seem a little bit cool, but there's things you can do to keep warm. Rather than being tempted to raise the thermostat, I like to wear my heated hoodie from Kemimoto, and they are the sponsor for this video. What struck me the most when I took the Kemimoto hoodie out of the box was how comfortable and soft it was to touch. The first thing you need to do is charge up the battery. The battery comes with a USB-C to USB-A cord that you plug into a wall adapter. Now you have to supply the adapter because it doesn't come with that. Place the battery into the inside front pocket and zip it shut to hold the battery in place. There are 3 buttons on the front of the jacket that will flash once the battery is plugged in. Press any button one time on the jacket and it will turn on with full power to all 3 areas that heat up. One of the nice things about this jacket is that you can control each of the 3 heated areas independently, so you get the right heat where you need it the most. Each heated zone has 3 heat settings: low, medium, and high. If you want to turn off any of these 3 areas, hold the button down for 3 seconds and that zone will shut off. I get chilly indoors, so I wear the hoodie around the house. And when I want to go outside, I'll put the hoodie on and wear it out there in order to also keep warm. We also have some other Kemimoto products that we wear, like this heated jacket, which comes with a larger battery and also pairs with an easy-to-use phone app.
This quilted vest is super easy to wipe off if it looks like there's going to be some rain or maybe some snow outside. This vest is super soft and the most comfortable vest I've ever worn in my life. You'll find links all the way at the top of the description of this video. Also, look for a special coupon code for Under the Median viewers. Let's move along through the calendar to summer. This is all about maximizing your savings when it comes to heat and maximizing your free time.
One of the things that you'll want to do is buy used whenever possible. You always save money by doing that. And there are so many good items out there that you can pick up for next to nothing.
As soon as summer starts, create a summer bucket list. We love doing this. We go online and we look at free events in our area.
Oh, yeah.
You can even set it by geographic area, how far out, how many hundreds of miles you want to go from your home. And we make a list of different events that are free or very frugal that we want to make sure that we attend throughout the summer, and we get them down on the calendar right away to make sure that we don't miss out on those opportunities.
Another way to save money in the summertime is to do your own washing on your car. And that's really easy to do. If you don't have a hose, I've actually used just a bucket of water. Pour a bucket of water over the car, that rinses it. Take another bucket with a sponge and soap it off. Take another bucket out and rinse it back off again. It is so simple. And do your own waxing as well. This will save you a lot of money if you do it instead of having it done.
But you know the one tool that we use for washing and waxing our car?
Our kids.
4 sons. Those kids knew how to wash and wax a car properly. And now that they are all adults, they all wash and wax their own cars. That is absolutely true.
They absolutely do.
You might want to think about blackout curtains during the summer. And this tip specifically specifically has to do with saving on energy costs. We talked a little bit about energy costs in the winter and the early spring. Now it's time to swing into summer because now we're not heating, we are cooling. But the thing about blackout curtains is you don't automatically save money using them unless you are using them correctly. During the heat of the day, when that sun is blazing through the window, that's when those blackout curtains should be shut. But if it cools off to very moderate temperatures in the evening and overnight, then you can go ahead and open those blackout curtains, and you can even open the window a few inches and let some of that cooler air in. But make sure, above all, in the middle of the day, those curtains are shut.
Drive with getting the best gas mileage in mind. And that means combining errands. Make sure your errands are in a good pathway to drive from one place to the next and then to the next and then back home in the shortest path possible. If you drive to get the best mileage, it'll save you a lot of money.
Cook with lower wattage appliances. This is particularly true in the summer, I think, when you're looking at appliances that don't heat up the interior of your house, because you don't want that heating from the cooking process competing with that AC cycling on and off and on and off and on and off. So use those appliances which use less energy.
Drink water instead of soda in the summertime. Water quenches your thirst so much better. It's so much better for you in so many different ways. So that will also save you the cost of buying all that soda.
And it will also save you on the cost of buying bottled water, because we're going to tell you to get a reusable, refillable water bottle that is insulated and will keep that water cool for you all day long. Swinging back around to cooking, let's talk about no-cook meals.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to put it. It's recipes that you can make without turning on any heat source. I generally have a list of these that we run through during the summer to make sure that we're rotating these meals and putting them in effectively a few times a week during the summertime, so that I am not turning on any heating appliance unless I absolutely need to. The other thing is, if you're going to turn on a heating appliance, let's just say I'm going to make a big batch of rice. Make a big batch of rice. Make a double or triple batch of rice, more than you would use in the rice cooker the first time. Then you use all of that leftover rice throughout the week to make rice salads and some other rice type based things where you don't have to use the rice cooker more than once.
Host potlucks and barbecues. And
fun,
these
too.
barbecues can be held outside of your home. That keeps you from heating up your home in the summertime. And if you have friends over and they bring over a meal or a dish for that meal, that saves the total cost as if you had all gone out to eat somewhere. Imagine that amount of money saved by just having a potluck.
And the big bonus with potlucks is not only are you having fun with your friends, it's costing you very little money. You're eating outside, which means, once again, you are not heating up the interior of your house by cooking indoors.
The next category to move on to after summer is fall. Think about preparation and planning. That's what our squirrels that are on our yard do. They're always looking for places to plant their food for winter.
Let's talk about fall soups and stews. You're going to use your slow cooker and your Instant Pot even more than you do during the summer. Those hearty meals will keep you filled up and they will feed you for several days.
You can also learn a new hobby or a skill. And some of these skills and hobbies can be turned into hard cold cash if you can hire yourself out and use it as a side gig.
The fall is traditionally the time to get new quotes on insurance. Now, we've always said at least once a year you should check your insurance rates and see if you can get a better rate. But what a lot of people don't realize is traditionally it's generally October when those new insurance rates come out. So the fall is the perfect time to go ahead and check on insurance.
Create an up-to-date pantry and freezer list. This will give you an idea of what you have stored to use later in your meal planning.
But wait, we said that earlier. We said it in the spring, January, February, March, didn't we? We are saying it again.
Again, yes.
And there's a good reason for it.
Twice a year.
This is when you are harvesting all of those fruits and vegetables.
Right.
And you are either dehydrating, canning, or freezing them. You have to make sure that you know what is already in that freezer before you start piling a bunch of stuff on top of what is already in there.
While you're putting things into your freezer and your pantry, make sure you're putting a date on it so you know exactly how long it's been there.
Oh, and identify it.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many frozen things look just like a lot of other frozen things.
You can't recognize it.
I've occasionally thawed something and went, wow, it's something totally different for supper than I thought was going to be for supper. The fall's also a great time to calculate the cost of monthly subscriptions. Now, true, you can do this any time of the year.
Sure.
But we mentioned getting new quotes for your insurance, so that sort of segues into looking at everything else that you're paying for monthly, quarterly, or yearly. And a lot of that would be your subscriptions. You're going to look at everything that you're purchasing on a monthly basis and multiply it by 12. This is the step that we tell people consistently they need to take. And if you will take it, it will open your eyes as to the exact cost of what you're purchasing. Cable, perfect example. Average cable bill in the US, $100. Multiply it by 12. Is cable really worth $1,200 to you every single year? Once you do the multiplication, you see the numbers in front of you, it gives you the tools you need to decide.
This is a really good time of the year to have your car checked over for winter. You don't want your car having problems when it's 20 below zero out. You want to get ahead of that. You want to make sure that your battery is good. It's going to have plenty of voltage in order to get your car started. You're going to want to make sure your brakes are good and your oil's changed. And those tires, you got to check those tires and make sure the pressure is up, especially after you get a cold snap. So it's really good to check over your car and make sure it's ready for the coming winter months.
And check the tread on the tires. When you're getting your car ready, you want to think about getting your home ready as well for winter. There are many steps that you can take every single fall. They're going to maximize your savings over the winter, and it has to do with basically winterizing your home. So in the fall, you're going to make sure that you're looking for cracks around the windows. You're going to seal those up. You're going to make sure that you have looked for all of your tools and things that you're going to need. If you live in an area that gets snow, you're going to get all of those out of your attic. Your boots, your shoes, your mittens, your gloves, all of that should be out. You should make sure that you have identified it, that there are 2 gloves, not just one. Has happened. I'm just saying, because you don't want to be replacing gloves at the 9th hour when it's below zero and all of a sudden you only have one glove to put on your hand. You're going to want to make sure also that you check the gutters. This is something we have to do. We have an apple tree right near our gutters, so we have to make sure that that is checked.
Yeah, the gutters need to be cleaned out and make sure they're running free so that water that's coming down in the wintertime doesn't get stopped up. You don't want to be up there in the wintertime, especially if there's frost or snow on your roof.
This step is all about making sure that you keep the cold air out and the warm air in. That's what you're looking for in these last couple of steps.
Yeah.
You're going to plan for the holidays. Now, if you've not already started shopping for the holidays, you're going to make sure that you create a realistic budget for your holiday spending, and that includes a lot more than just what you're going to spend on gifts. Make sure that you have all of the appropriate items included in that holiday list and make sure that you have budgeted for all of it.
We're up to our last yearly category, and this will be started in October as it's starting to get cold. And this is for winter when we're all wanting to get into our house and get cozy and dressed up and warm.
The very first thing that we want you to consider in the winter season is ditching the cable. Now, I know this seems counterproductive because you're stuck in your house a lot more during the winter, right? So maybe you want to have that cable, but we already told you to total up what that cable is costing you. There are so many opportunities out there to watch television and watch movies, and it won't cost you 1 red cent. Now, if you don't know about some of those opportunities and some of those services, we did a whole video on cutting the cable cord and on some of the ways that we watch television without spending any money. I'm going to make sure that that is listed in the description of this video.
Another thing you can do is look at focusing on low-cost fun or no-cost fun. There are so many opportunities in Facebook, in the paper, on the internet that you can find in your area to do some free things. And this is especially true as you get into the winter months. There are so many different activities in your area that you can do through your public library or maybe your downtown area of your city that involve no payment on your part at all.
Layer up because you're going to want to stay warm. That's the next tip. Make sure that you have wool throws, blankets. Just have them attractively laid across the arm of the sofa. Have them out and have them ready. Because your first idea is going to be to head to that thermostat and to bring it up 2 or 3 or 4 degrees. But rather than doing that, if you already have everything out and you're ready to go, then you're going to be far less likely to do that.
Another way that you can save on the total cost of heating your house is to use space heaters to just heat up a small area that you might be in for a short period of time. We have about 3 different areas in our home that we use space heaters in, and it really does help just to have them turned on for maybe a few minutes to take the chill off the room and make it comfortable.
Well, we've got a lot of questions about this, about whether it really does save you money. The answer is yes. CNET did an extensive article with numerous breakdowns as to the cost of each type of space heater and what it would cost you in order to use that with the electricity that it would cost you. You really do save money. You need to use them strategically. That's the important word to remember. You're not going to run a space heater 24/7 and save money. You're going to use a space heater for 3 or 4 hours at the most during the day in order to heat up that space that you are sitting in. Here's one of my fave things to do, especially when I'm shopping for Christmas gifts, and that is to stack discounts. Guys, this is like a game where you jump up and you get the gold coins and you get points for the gold coins. That's what stacking discounts is like. So when you are shopping, especially if you're shopping for Christmas gifts, you're going to look at items that are on sale, that are on discount, that are on clearance, that are on markdown. And then you're going to see if you can stack those with some coupons that you're able to find. You're going to see if you can use a loyalty card, because if you do, a lot of times you'll get points. I just did this. I had $45 stacked up on my loyalty card at Kohl's, and I was able to use that in order to take $45 off of what I was purchasing from Kohl's for Christmas. A lot of these programs have specifics that you have to make sure you pay attention to, like the fact that my $45 was only available to be used for 7-day period. Now, I happened to be shopping during that 7-day period, so it was quite fortuitous, and I knew I was already going to spend some money. But make sure that you look for expiration dates and things like that.
And while you're shopping, use Rakuten. You'll get a lot more money off. And Hope will leave a link in the description of this video so you can access that.
You get cash back through Rakuten all the time. I use it, and I've been incredibly happy with Rakuten.
Another thing you can do, and we put this into practice, it really helps out a lot. Wait 24 hours before making that purchase. So you're on Amazon, you see something you really want, maybe something you really need too. Wait 24 hours. Give yourself some time to do a little bit more research. Check out the prices. Check out some other alternative ways that you might be able to purchase that item. And then you'll probably save a lot more money by doing that.
Another advantage of putting something in your cart and then walking away and making a decision whether you really want to purchase it or not. If you leave something in an abandoned cart, a lot of times these companies will see that and they will send you a discount coupon to buy exactly what you were looking at. If you've made the decision, yep, I really want it, then you've just saved even more money. Here is a really unusual habit, and I've been asked by my husband if this really works, and the answer is yes, it absolutely does. Cover your windows with bubble wrap. Bubble wrap that comes in the mail. Have people save bubble wrap for you, like if they're ordering from Amazon or something. Because, I mean, you can buy it in big sheets, but a lot of times you can get it for free. So source your bubble wrap, cut it into a piece that fits neatly on the interior of your window. Then you're going to use a spray bottle, very fine spritz. You're going to spray the window pane and then stick that bubble wrap up against your window pane, and it will stay put. Why would you want to use bubble wrap, you might ask? Not because it looks very cool on your window, but it does look a little cool. It's because it provides an extra barrier against the cold air coming into your warm interior. It really does add an insulative factor and helps you to lower your energy costs.
Even if you use the bubble wrap on your windows, you're still going to want to monitor your energy usage online. That will tell you exactly what you're doing. And this helps us. Hope will monitor our gas and electric, and she'll say, oh, we're going up too high. We have to make some quick adjustments so we can bring it back down.
Well, the most important thing is you can figure out whether your bubble wrap is helping you to lower your energy costs or not, in addition to all the other things you are doing to lower your energy usage. You can get feedback almost instantaneously, and you can find out whether what you are doing to spend less is working. Before we move on, we should say that in order to monitor your energy usage online, you need to sign up for an online account with your energy provider, and our energy provider provides us with all the information about our energy usage down to 15-minute increments. So contact your energy company to see if they offer you this option or not.
It always helps while you're doing all these other suggestions that if we practice thankfulness, to be thankful for all the things that we have, for the ability to save money. Make sure that you practice that thankfulness with other friends and just kind of spread the word around that you're very thankful this time of the year. It really helps get through these challenging times.
And as you're implementing all of these suggestions, you want to make sure that you are tracking your progress on financial goals, because that's how you know what is working and, more importantly, what is not working. Now, if your budget is tight and you're trying to figure out ways that you can cut back on that budget, there are some easy places that you can look in order to find some money that is already hidden in your current budget. We have 10 different places that we always look and find money when we need it. We did a video on it. The video is right over there. Why would you want to do this? Not because bubble crap.
That's what I would call it.
It is not bubble crap. All right, stop.